Well, President Biden was out riding his bike today when he was asked about the debt ceiling meeting. The president made some jokes with reporters and said that he thinks the meeting will take place on Tuesday. Biden was also asked about how things are going at the southern border. Take a listen.
How do you think things are going at the border, sir?
Much better than you all expected.
Do you have any plans to visit the border?
I think. Pardon me?
Do you have any plans to visit the border?
Not in the near term, no.
And meanwhile, tonight, Donald Trump and Ron DeSantis reigniting their war of words ahead of an expected showdown for the Republican presidential nomination. The latest jabs center around Iowa, where DeSantis spoke at a couple conservative events, but a tornado watch there caused the cancellation of Trump's outdoor rally in Des Moines. Correspondent Kellie Meyer live for us in Iowa's capital tonight. Kellie.
Hey, Natasha. Well, I think back to a few weeks ago when Florida Governor Ron DeSantis had this bad week in Washington. He was trying to win over members of Congress, some members that he actually served with, and they were flocking to former President Donald Trump. Fast forward to this weekend, and DeSantis is delivering here in Des Moines, winning over voters and Iowa Republicans, and swooping in at a surprise stop here in Des Moines, just as former President Trump decided to stay back in Mar-a-Lago, citing weather concerns. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis hitting his stride in Iowa, making not one, not two, but 3 campaign stops in 3 different parts of the state. Adding to speculation, the Florida governor is about to enter the 2024 presidential race.
We've done that in Florida. They've done that in Iowa. You know, we're going to have a chance pretty soon to make sure that's done in every state in this country.
The last event, an added jab aimed directly at former President Donald Trump, making a surprise appearance at a popular barbecue spot in Des Moines.
I did a speech and a spiel with everyone. Everyone had a fun time. They were getting excited, cheering.
The venue is just a short drive away from where Trump was set to address supporters. Trump canceling last minute, citing a tornado watch, and opting to call supporters in the state instead.
And I wanted to see you today, but a little thing called tornadoes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they prevailed.
The campaign's reasoning causing a tornado of criticism from some conservatives, claiming the last-minute decision was due to what they called a small crowd size, not the weather. DeSantis' allies drawing attention to the former president's absence and trolling Trump with tweets noting the, quote, beautiful Iowa evening. This only adding to Trump's disdain for his potential 2024 challenger, taking to Truth Social today to slam DeSantis, saying his poll numbers are, quote, dropping like a rock, and calling him young, naive, and inexperienced.
The problem with Ron DeSanctimonious is that he needs a personality transplant, and those are not yet available.
On stage this weekend, DeSantis took some subtle shots at Trump, too, heating up the war of words between the 2 GOP heavyweights.
We must reject the culture of losing that has infected our party in recent years. If we get distracted, if we focus the election on the past or on other side issues, then I think the Democrats are going to beat us again.
DeSantis grabbing control of the campaign trail, but still dancing around whether or not he's going to challenge Trump.
Governor DeSantis, mean you're inching closer to an announcement?
No news yet, so just hang out there. Hi, how are you?
Thank you.
And the manager at the barbecue spot that DeSantis stopped by here in Des Moines telling us that they got a call around 2 hours after Trump canceled his event asking if they could accommodate around 20 people. 2 hours later, they had around 200 people. Still, Trump is leading in the polls here in the state. That is generally the first place where Republican voters' voices are heard in the Republican presidential nominating process.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.